Good morning, scientists. Today, I want you to remember that we have been investigating this question. How do plants get the water and sunlight that they need to grow? And in order to really dig into that, did you get that joke? We're going to think about how we observed roots and leaves of different plants. So there are those roots and leaves. What are some of your ideas about how a plant's roots and leaves help the plant get what it needs to grow? Great. So you think that roots help a plant to drink up the water and send water and nutrients to other parts of the plant? Excellent. You think that the roots also anchor the plant or keep the plant in place? Superb. How about those leaves? What are those leaves doing? Yeah, those leaves are receiving light. They're also taking in carbon dioxide and they're releasing oxygen into the air. And it's the place where the plant makes its food. Excellent. So they're receiving light. Oh, so much, so incredible. I love plants. Well, in order for us to get even more confident and better at explaining how all of the parts of a plant work together, we're going to read a special book called A Plant is a System. I want you to say the title of the book, A Plant is a System. Great. Now, I would love for you to observe the cover of the book and tell me what you observe. So on the cover of the book, there are a few things to notice. Yes, great. You see a big tree and some flowers growing with grass. Awesome. Yeah, look at these gigantic roots under the tree. Wow, they're so strong and they're really connected. It seems that they're holding that tree in place and sending it some nutrients and water. Good thinking. You notice that the flowers also have those roots. Yeah, those seem to be dandelion flowers. And that the grass also has roots. Excellent. You also notice leaves and you're noticing the sun. Beautiful. So everything on the cover is showing that all of the parts are connected, all of the parts of the plant are connected, and there seems to be a really delicious balance of light energy that is supporting the plants. Good thinking. Okay, now we're going to read this book, and in order to do that, I will read it to you. And I'm also putting it in the classroom so that if you want to read it again or you want to go back and find some evidence to support your activity later, you can do that. And we're going to read this book to find out how plant parts are, how they're working together to get the water and sunlight to the plant so that it can grow. I really want you to think about how the plant works together. And a system is a really important concept in science because we're constantly trying to think about how all of the parts of a mechanism, a process, or a thing work together, and how without one part, the whole system will dysfunction. It won't work anymore. So we have to constantly be thinking about what is the effect of one part on another part. And a plant is such a good example of that. Okay, so let's start reading. A plant is a system. A system is a group of parts that work together. A plant has parts. Each part of a plant does something different. Every part is important. Each one is part of the system. When I think of systems, I like to think about teams. So I think of a baseball team, a soccer team, a gymnastics team. All of the members of a team work together and have special jobs. And if somebody on the team isn't there, then the team is missing something and the team is not going to effectively run. So a plant is like that too. The roots interact and support the stem and the leaves. The leaves help the roots and the stem. And all of these parts have to work together to get the plant what it needs to grow. A plant is a system. Okay. A system is a group of parts that work together. I want you to say that word, system. System. Awesome. We just learned that a plant is a system. Well, now we're going to read a few more pages. Okay. And in order to do that, I'm going to pull up the book. To live and grow, a plant needs sunlight and water. Different parts help the plant get what it needs. Think about the plants that live around you. There may be trees, bushes, grass, and other plants. What plant parts can you observe? If you're growing something, see if you can observe some of the plant parts. And if you are near a window, you might glance out the window and notice how a tree is showing you its leaves, how the trunk of that tree might be providing the tree with something that it needs to be a successful living thing. Awesome. Great. So think about how all of those parts work together. Okay. So you've been thinking a lot about what the job of the roots should be and what the job of the leaves can be. Good. Leaves, stems, and flowers are easy to see when you observe the plants that are growing in your home or when you look out the window. These are all plant parts. Roots are plant parts too. Roots are mostly hidden underground, and each part of the system has a job to do. Each part helps a plant live and grow. So think about how the leaves are above ground and what that could help them to absorb. We've talked about it. And you see this beautiful rendition of the sun and how it seems to be warming up and really activating the leaves. You think those leaves are helping the plant to get light? Awesome. And you know that when it rains, the ground gets really moist, it gets really wet. Those roots are underground like straws, drinking up the water that's being absorbed into the soil. Yeah. So think of those beautiful roots of a tree, of grass, of bushes, of flowers, drinking up that water. Great. Now I want you to pause the video and find your sheet that looks like this. What do parts of a plant do? You're going to read the rest of the book. A plant is a system. And as you read, I want you to think about how you're learning about how all the parts of a plant work together and they help the plant to get water and sunlight. When you feel ready, I want you to write the answer to this sentence starter. And the sentence sounds like this: the roots of the plant blank. So I want you to write what the job of the roots is. How do the roots help the plant to get light or water? Then I want you to write the answer to this sentence starter. The leaves of the plant blank. What do those leaves do? Okay, as you're reading, collect the evidence to answer those prompts, okay? Here's another part of that page that will help you, that I think you'll get your evidence to answer your question for. Plants need sunlight to live and grow. A plant is a system with parts for getting the sunlight it needs. Those parts are called leaves. Leaves catch light from the sun. The leaves use sunlight to make food that the whole plant can use. So you don't have a really long line to answer that question. So I want you to sum up the answer to that prompt, the leaves of the plant. Tell me what the leaves do. And if you'd like to, you could even draw a diagram in that big space under those two sentence starters. So remember, you're going to continue reading the entire book, and as you read, write about what roots and leaves do and keep track of all of the details that are helping you to explain how the roots and leaves work with the other parts of the plant. If you want to watch this, you can actually watch a video of this read aloud by clicking on slide 9. It'll be slide 10. Clicking on slide 10, and there's a little website at the bottom of the slide, and it says tiny URL. And if you click on that, you'll hear the entire book being read aloud. Okay? So it's up to you, but go read that book, pause the video, or listen to the read aloud by clicking on that link. See you soon. Okay, you should have read the book or listened to the book being read aloud, and I want you to practice talking about what you learned. What do the leaves of a plant do? Yeah, if you need to go back to the book, you can. That's right, the leaves collect light and help the plant to make food. Good job. Now let's remember what the roots of a plant do. Yes, if you need to reread pages 8 and 9, absolutely go do that. Okay. You think the roots take in water? Excellent. And they spread out and they allow the plant to gather up the nutrients from the soil. Excellent. They also help stabilize the plant. Good thinking. So, how is a plant a system? How do all of the parts of the plant work together? Read page 14 again if you need help remembering. Yes, a plant is a system because all of the parts of the plant, the roots, the stem, and the leaves, work together. The roots send water up through the stem connects the roots to the leaves collect the light, and without any of these parts, the plant would not be able to live or grow. Awesome thinking. I love that you said all of that. So, you know that we've been not just expressing our ideas by talking and sharing during our Zooms and during our in class lessons, we also write and draw our ideas. Well, today I just want to show you how to spell some of the words that we've been talking a lot about. Everybody say leaves, leaves. Yeah, and inside leaves, there's an interesting vowel pattern there where it's spelled Leaves. I want you to spell that the way that it looks, okay? Leaves. Leaves are the flat, green plant parts that use light to help the plant grow. Leaves catch light from the sun. Good thinking. Say that word one more time. Leaves. Good. And roots are the underground plant parts that take in water to help the plant grow. Roots spread out in the soil to get water. Good thinking. So, from our reading and from all the things we've been doing, we figured out an important key concept. Turn the key and unlock your mind. Plants have leaves that get sunlight, and plants have roots that get water from the soil. Scientists, now I want you to put all of that together, and I want you, to do this last page. Go through pages 8 to 10 in A Plant is a System. You can do it on your own. If you're independently able to log into Amplify, you can click on the PDF of the book. And I want you to label each part of the plant in the box below. So tell me where the roots are, tell me where the stem is, and show me where the leaves are. Draw arrows to show how the plant uses sunlight and water. Okay, so show me by explaining how the roots do their job and what the leaves do for the plant as well. Then I want you to write your answer. How is a plant a system? So you're going to tell me how the plant is a system by writing a scientific sentence and explain how does it use its parts to get what it needs to grow. I'm really excited to read your answers when they're ready. And I hope that you feel really confident and good about explaining all the parts of a plant. I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see you soon. Take care, scientist.